And welcome to the Metal Mixtape here on KSQ 89.5 FM Ashland, Oregon, 94.1 FM Medford, Oregon, stream online on kskqdjramo.org. It's the boy, it's the Don, DJ Ramo. I am excited, honored to have Daniel Freyberg from Crownshift on the Metal Mixtape. What is up, Daniel?
Thank you very much for having me. It's my honor. My pleasure.
Dude, it's my pleasure, dude. Anytime I get to listen to just music and sit down and just really hammer down an album, dude, it's an absolute pleasure of mine, because in a world where we have so many distractions, dude, like, I swear to God, man, I'm 34, but I remember just at like 14 or 15, like, we used to go out and skateboard, you know, ride a bike, go to the park, and we used to go to concerts without having a million phones in the air. You know what I mean? Like I go back and look at concerts, like, because, like, I used to be, like, that Kodak guy with, like, the disposable camera. And I looked at all my photos, man, and back in the day, I feel like we really used to enjoy music. It's way different now, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels such a long time ago, because the world has changed a lot since we were kids, and what was going on back then. So yeah, I mean, I think those things have positive pros and cons, you know. I kind of like the technology, but somehow, you know, you can overuse it nowadays in so many ways, and, you know, spend your time like doing nothing, basically.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And well, the thing is, like, one thing I remember from just, like, not having, like, back in the day and not being able to record everything is, like, I felt like I really used to, like, remember the concerts I went to. I used to really remember, like all these memories from, like, my first Ozfest in 2004, where everybody's eyes were just glued to the screen, to the person playing the music. And nowadays it's like people are recording and it's immediately looking down at their videos, you know, looking back, and people are so quick to post that it's like, hey, like, when's the last time you just sat at a concert and was like, this is it, and only I'm experiencing it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if that does exist anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And not about just about concerts. It was, you know, at least I remember younger, when I was buying an album or borrowing an album from a library,
Oh my
which
God.
feels nowadays crazy, because everything is your disposal, like right now, just whatever you want. But then you kind of, back in the days, you kind of listened, you kind of, you know, listened all songs very carefully, very thorough, and kind of use it more, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No,
Now it's like, if you don't like the first 20 seconds, scrap that.
I know, man.
Yeah.
I missed the old days sometimes, man. But like you said, there is advantages to it, and then there are disadvantages to it, you know. So
Yeah, definitely.
But Daniel, I literally have a massive breakdown on Crownshift, which is coming out May 10th via Nuclear Blast. But one of the things, as a fan and just for fans of you, I always like to talk about, like, your musical journey, and also how, like, you really got inspired as a kid. So I'm going to ask you maybe like a 3-part question. But the first part to this question I always ask is, like, do you remember, like, the first time you really got in depth in metal as a kid or a teenager? Or do you remember, like, the first album that you ever heard all the way through? Because I feel like people get into music when they're younger, but there's always that one signature album of whatever band it may be that really got you into music, and you're just like, you know what? I think I might want to pick up the guitar. Hey, you know what? I think I might want to be a performer, because I feel like a lot of times it's like we do want to do this for a living, and we want to do this as our calling in life. But I always feel like sometimes there's that one spark of maybe that one musician or album or artist that got you into music. Do you remember that time as a kid where you just got immersed by this genre?
Well, I remember part of it. I remember what made me pick guitar. That was Guns N' Roses, and song was "You Could Be Mine."
Hell yeah!
But I'm not sure, was that the first album I listened all the way through. That I don't remember. Sorry. But but Guns N' Roses got me into metal. It got me into music, and it got me into guitar all simultaneously. So
Dude, no, that's
yeah,
awesome. So would you say Slash was probably one of your first big influences on the guitar?
absolutely. Slash made me do it.
so but did you expect like if you were to look back at your younger self now, did you expect to want to be a performer? Were you always that type of musician that like wanted to share it with a lot of people? And also like do you recall like one of the first times you were on stage and you were just like, holy shit, Daniel, like I could do this, like I could see myself doing this for a long time. Do you remember like maybe like your first big concert that kind of threw it over the like kind of just like gave you a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of excitement, and you're just like, this is happening?
Mm, don't remember that well my very first live performances, but I remember when I started playing guitar and when I saw Guns N' Roses on TV, I instantly knew that I want to do that for some reason. That feeling stayed with me, like that stuck forever, and I still feel like that. And yeah, I'm kind of happy that I found my passion at the very young age, because I don't know, some people don't have passion, and I don't know, I like having one. So.
No, I totally agree, man. You know, I always feel like, you know, getting older in life, if like you don't have something you really love, that's when you really start paying attention to the things around you. You know, because a lot of people go like, "Oh, I'm getting older," or I feel like I'm wasting time, and you know, I even like tell like my nieces, and I'm gonna tell my son when he gets, my son's 4, but when he gets a little older, I'm gonna be like, "Look, kid, find something you love, and even if it feels like it's not working out right away, eventually you're going to be 20 years down the road and you're going to be doing it on a crazy level you've never dreamed of." Because I feel like when you put enough time into your dream, it starts working by
Mm,
itself. You know what I mean? It's almost like a garden that
mm,
starts seeding itself, and it starts blooming its own
mm,
flowers. Because at the beginning, you know, you have this garden and some flowers are going to die, some flowers are not going to bloom. But eventually it
right.
starts growing. Did you expect, I mean, are you surprised, or are you like that you've had like this massive musical career, and like do you ever look back at it and go like, shit, Daniel, like I put in a lot of hours, dude.
Yeah, I think I wasted time too, because you never know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
And my career, it's been ups and downs. So I'm not saying it was all fancy and easy, but I'm still loving what I do. That's what I meant. And that's the important thing for me, because, yeah, if I would get all the money from something that I don't love, I wouldn't be happy.
No, yeah, I know, I no, I dig it. I totally agree with that. Daniel, a last question before we get into Crownshift's self-titled Crownshift. Do you remember the biggest lesson you had to learn from being like more of like an amateur musician to transition to professional musician? Because you know, when you start playing music, you know, you're going on smaller tours, you're playing like gigs on the weekend. Like what was your biggest challenge, like transitioning to like a full time musician and a full time touring artist? What do you think the biggest challenge was for you?
Mm, I think there's many things, not just one. There are actually not very big things. There are lots of little things. What kind of separates being an amateur or professional? Sometimes it's just a phone call from the right band. And but then if you make it to the professional level, you have to really act like professional,
Mm.
and keep your work ethic. That's very important. Deliver on time, and so on. So you gotta like, even though it's a thing you love and it's kind of your hobby or whatever, but you gotta keep it like a think it as a work too, in terms of times, deadlines and that sort of things.
No,
So yeah, there's many little things, not just one big.
no, that totally makes sense, man. You know, because
Mhm.
once you hit that professional level, then comes like all the pressure from like just like the labels, the management, being in a tour bus or however you're traveling, going date to date, and I've been to big shows before where you have like your huge schedule, in the morning for sound check and when bands are supposed to be there and your free time, and then when you're getting back to the bus, it just because I know, like, back in the day, people got caught up in, like, oh, Poison and Guns N' Roses, everybody's getting all messed up. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But I know that, like, you have to be responsible. I know when I interviewed Rudy Sorzo, he said Sharon would always force Ozzy back on the tour bus because he didn't want Ozzy partying in town. So as soon as Ozzy was done playing, they'd immediately get everybody on the bus and just go immediately
Wow.
because I couldn't imagine because like, dude, if you're playing a live show, Daniel, I'm sure there's hundreds of fans out there that want to be like, dude, like want a little bit of your energy and want to be like, hey man, come party with us, or come do this, come take a
Mm.
picture,
Yeah.
so I just couldn't imagine, because I feel like that's a part of the pressure too, because you want to make your fans happy and you also want to make everybody around you happy as well, and then at the end of the day you have to take care of Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always have time for fans or everybody. That's not really not the thing that I meant at all. But sometimes you have to really like, even if you feel like I want to play guitar, but then you have these million other things that you need to take care of. So you have to kind of, sometimes it's like a more like office work than actually being a musician.
Yeah.
So, and those are just things you have to take care because, yeah, in order you can play guitar more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine you're like, all these things you take
so it's
care of.
not always fun and like a dancing. Sometimes it's just you have to grind many things simultaneously.
Oh, I couldn't imagine, man. You know what I mean? Dropping a new album, then like doing interviews and doing
Mm.
all this press release and everything. You know what I mean? Like, believe me, I'm gonna ask
Now
you.
this is the easy part.
I got a question for you at the end of the interview that will bring back kind of this question.
Sure.
But right now, dude, Crownshift. I listen to a ton of albums, so I'm not gonna gaslight you in any way, because I always say that, like, uh, for me to take away time from my 4-year-old son, I have to do something I care about, and I don't say yes to all the interviews. I learned not to do that. I have to listen to some music that I really like. And dude,
Hmm.
like, and I'm a huge guitar guy, and I feel like structuring and dynamics and like verses and choruses and leads up to the solos and just breakdowns are extremely important, and especially nowadays with how much music is released, dude. And this album it's just insane, dude. And what I really like about this album is that you have an extremely catchy vocalist over all these shreddy and beautiful riffs. But the thing is that a lot of your guys' shredding in this album, not only is it like kind of like modern, like to your roots, but also it kind of goes back to the classic a little bit. You know what I mean? I felt like I listened to a lot of classic rock elements in this
Mm.
in this song, like even in like the intro of like Devil's Drug, I felt like I heard like some sort of classicness, like Mr. Big type of like George Lynch
Mm.
type of style. You know what I mean? And like the intro in it,
Maybe.
yeah. I don't know. I listen to a lot of different genres of music. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
no, but there's also like a lot of shredding. Like one thing I didn't expect was Mirage and To the Other Side, because it was just like it was some beautiful instrumental. Which at first when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, when are the vocals coming, right? And then I made it about a minute into the track, and I was like, oh, it's an instrumental, you know.
They're not coming.
Yeah, it's not coming, and I was just like,
Um,
dude, and I was like, dude, this is just so gorgeous, man. The layering of the guitars I thought was extremely catchy, and I feel like when you really focus on that lead going layering over it, that you could almost like replicate vocals. So hearing the instrumental, I could almost hear like the singing of the guitar over it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's very nice way to put it. Because yeah, instrumentals are a different kind of challenge because you cannot use vocals.
Yeah.
So you somehow got to fill that space
Yep.
and make like other instrument replace the vocals, so to speak.
Oh yeah. No.
So it's a different kind of challenge to keep it like interesting without vocals.
Oh no. It's awesome, man. But I think you did an amazing job. I even have in my there's three words I wrote in a row, and it said godlike holy shit, which I don't know if those should go together, but they did go together on my list. Maybe I should have spaced away both of those a little bit. No, but dude,
Yeah.
and also the songs for your three music videos, A World Beyond Reach, if you're done, and My Prison, dude, like what I love about this album, dude, is that, dude, like you have heart pounding songs, dude, like A World Beyond Reach and Stellar and Rule of Show, but also like you bring it back with like, you know, when it got to My Prison, I was like, okay, like I feel like you orchestrated this album the way you would orchestrate like a big song with like these climaxes, you know, because instead of just having an album where it's just straightforward and just straight the same song kind of over and over and over, you know, which is not wrong. Nothing's wrong with that, right? But I did like the dynamics, dude, because the music videos were amazing, but just hearing the range of your vocalist in like My Prison, I was just like, all right, this is really good, because I feel like having that balance of like angry and pretty are really important. Like how did you guys go about like structuring a lot of these songs around like your vocalist? Does it normally start around? Do you guys usually start with like a riff, or do you guys like start with like a melody with vocals, or is it both? Like how do you guys go about structuring a lot of these songs?
Usually the music, 99% times music comes first, and then we did the music. We recorded that first, even without writing any lyrics.
Whoa.
Or without planning any vocals. Of course, there was a little bit line spinning in my head. It's like, okay, this could be a little bit this and that, but not really. We didn't go into vocals until we started recording those. So we did all these vocals, basically wrote the lyrics, arranged them on the spot. And that was pretty intuitive way to us to do it. And because a lot of the time if you write lyrics without, demoing them, you end up like making these changes anyway, because some words don't fit and some lines don't fit. So we were like, let's do all that shit when we are recording. So we can do it at once,
No, that's sick.
So we don't have to do it like 2 or 3 times. Let's just do it one time. And that's how. Luckily, Tommy is a very versatile vocalist who can nail, variety of styles.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave us pretty much, freedom to do this kind of very diverse album. And also the fact that we actually liked many styles play a role.
Yeah. No, and that's what I think makes this album Crownshift so awesome, is that because Tommy's voice, he has such a huge range and huge register to how many different styles he does, that I feel like the music's able to branch out in so many places, because I feel like, you have a guitar riff, but you also have like the drummer and the vocals that really differentiate the direction of the guitar riff. You know what I mean? Like if Angus Young had like somebody like doing some crazy double bass riffs behind some AC/DC riffs, it would sound completely different than an AC/DC song. But they have that snap in there, which makes them pop. And for these songs, dude, I really like the range that you guys go everywhere. So when Tommy comes in and he's writing like lyrics and directions for all these songs, does everybody have like some sort of say of like where the direction's going, or does he have like an idea because of like where the lyrics want to go? Because I feel like you have the music speaks, but then you have like the lyrics that really drive it home.
No, I think that vocals in general slash lyrics, we did it with Tommy, just the two of us, and the other guys wasn't in that process until we presented like a, okay, here it is, the version. Is there anything you guys want to change or any ideas? And usually there wasn't. That's what they were like. Oh, sounds super. Keep up the work. But the other guys were like more in the music when we were doing music, and Tommy wasn't there really to that. So it was a little bit shared responsibility in this songwriting session.
Dude, I love it. I love it. My favorite songs on this album was Stellar Halo, just because the melodicness of your riffs, dude, are so freaking sick. And as a lead guitar player, when I write music in my projects and stuff, I'm always like lead driven. I don't know if it's because like I grew up on Randy Rhoads, and Randy Rhoads was like a very lead driven type of guitarist. But that's what I heard, like just from your songwriting, dude, all the way down. It's just you had a lot of awesome riff sections, but just the leadiness, dude, over and over and over. Like in your brain, when you wanted to have this massive structured album, like what was your main motivation that you were pulling from as far as like where you wanted this album to be?
I don't usually have any like I don't plan that much ahead. I just do whatever comes, And well, the only thing is usually that what I don't like to albums have is too many similar songs. That's what I hate. So I try to avoid that. I try to pick songs that are not, because I had more material than actually went to the album. So I try to pick usually songs that are not that similar to each other, because then I'm getting bored as an artist. So and ultimately you have to be happy with your work until everybody else can be.
No, I 100% agree. And honestly, like the way you explained it, like out of any artist I ever listened to, those are my favorite. Those are the bands I tend to stick with a lot, are the bands that really switch it up and really take chances. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there that will hate their favorite band or hate certain music because they're like, what are they doing? Like, why are they doing this or why are they doing that? And like, I feel like people tend to forget that like people grow up as individuals and they go through different things in their life. You know what I mean? And I feel a lot of times like the first albums they write in their projects are maybe really angry, or not angry, but like really like high energy driven sometimes, because when we're growing up, we have that, we're still learning about life. We're still learning how to grow from all these challenges that we face. And now it's like, you're people become full grown adults, you know what I mean? And then their maturity and how refined their instruments, how refined they are in the instruments really start to show. And just listening to this album, it's just like, that's what I felt like. I was like, there's no slouch on your songwriting, man. And
oh, thank you.
No, there really wasn't, man. And I'm not even kissing your ass, dude, because I'm a busy person, dude. I'm 34. I got grays everywhere. I'm dying really quick. I don't got time.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
So one of the things I was going to ask you is how do you know how far you're going to go with a song as far as like when a song ends? And the reason I asked that question is because To the Other Side is a 10-minute monster, right? And it's so the thing is, it's like, for me, it's like, all right, like I feel like I guarantee with all your other songs, there's you held the limitation to like where the song is going structurally, but on a 10-minute song, like, was it just because you thought there was like no ender in it, or what was the point, like What was your thinking behind like this massive structure? Because, dude, like there was a section where like it gets extremely beautiful with like some piano piece, and then it just starts
Mm.
leading right back into your heart. Like where was your heart? I mean, like, so what was your mindset around To the Other Side, and which is an amazing album ender.
Yeah, that was a little bit different because I remember there was like a logical point to end that song somewhere around the last chorus or so. But then I just felt that this needs more. This could be a really something epic story. Then I just, started to pour everything that came into my mind, and I don't know, it still happened naturally. It was more work, but I don't know. Somehow it got, you know, all the part made sense and everything. But yeah, I've always been like a fan of those long epic songs, and especially songs with a lot of going on. Like it's not like a song that there's like 2 minutes, 2 minutes some synth pad playing
Yeah.
or noise or anything, because you know, 10 minute song could be like anything. Could be complex or could be such, filled with noises and stuff. But the songs like Halloween by Halloween or Keeper of the Seven Keys, those kind of songs I refer and still look up to. And that was like probably one of my inspiration. I mean, 10 minute song isn't probably not that long anymore because people are doing 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but then you have to like look a little bit, dig deeper and see what's inside the song really. Is it much happening there?
I like it because there was a lot going on, but it's like it felt more like a build up to a climax instead of just like you were saying, it wasn't just like some filler noise. I feel like you were I
Mm,
feel like you were it was structurally gradually growing up to like these climaxes because where the piano is around I think 8 minutes or 9 minutes into the song, and
mm.
you build up this huge climax and then it like lays down into like a bed of like USA, and then it's like okay, and then it's like
Mm.
and then you push the album out and it just ends, dude, and it was beautiful, dude.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's one of my favorites, that song as well. And yeah, those are kind of challenges, those longer songs as well, because I think it's easier to keep 2 4 or 2 5 minute song interesting than one 10 minute song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Crownshift, the album coming out May 10th via Nuclear Blast. Do you have another interview after me?
No,
Okay,
no hurry. You can
so
go on as long as
okay,
you
cool.
want.
No, I like to be respectful to my fellow journalists. You know what I mean? Because I've done an interview before where I've had 10 minutes. I
Right.
remember I interviewed Camelot, and they're like, right as soon as I got into the interview, he's like, "You have 9 minutes." I was like, "Oh shit."
No, this is my last one, so take your time, buddy.
All right, all right, all right. Then I think we'll maybe get to like all right. Last question on the album before I'm gonna get to a couple random fun questions. Um,
Sure.
what was on this album? I know a lot of passion goes into all these songs, but if there was a song you wish people would bring up and what they'd like what do you think your favorite song was on this album that you feel like emotionally you invested the most in?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Do I have to pick?
You could. How about?
Okay, well, probably what uh, was probably the hardest one, and which took me the most of time, to the other side for sure.
Yeah.
That was a really long project to finish that song. And also Stellar Halo is pretty tricky. It's a little bit shorter, but there's so much going on in that song, and yeah,
I
it's a
felt
really complex song.
oh yeah, I felt like Stellar Halo was like the most shreddiest song probably on this album. It's just right in your face. And honestly, when I heard Stellar Halo, I for some reason I thought in my head I kind of felt like where the rest of the album was gonna go, and
Mm,
it completely went another direction.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a decoy.
It's a huge no.
Yeah,
It's a huge decoy because I was like, all right, I kind of
yeah.
feel where this album's gonna be, and then there was some songs that had it felt like there was like no keys or synth. It was just straight music. You know what I mean? And I like how there was a balance of that instead of just it being over everything. Which I totally love synth, by the way. You know what I mean? I love like Dream
Mm,
Theater and Halloween and all that. But it was really cool the balance in this. All right, we're gonna get to the second part of the interview, Daniel. Uh, we talked about all the challenges that goes into being a professional musician. What is one thing non-music related that you like doing that kind of maybe eases your stress when you're not on tour and when you're not doing like press and interviews and everything? And like, what is one thing that kind of brings you down to earth and you like to relax?
rest,
Rest.
sleep.
there.
That's easy. No, no. Well, I like to do workouts, go to gym, or just go running, and I really feel that I need to do that so I can function, so to speak. And that's, but I don't really have any. Mm, I don't really have much time to do anything else, really.
Okay, no, I like it. I
Uh,
like it. Um,
yeah, of course, I watch movies and stuff like that randomly, but yeah, not anything crazy.
is there a specific type of movies that you like watching more than others? Like, are you a comedy guy, documentary guy? Are you a podcast guy? What's do you have a go to? Like for you, like for me, my go to is like I always watch the Trailer Park Boys if I can. It's a Canadian show where three guys that grow pot in a trailer park. But
Yeah,
is there a go to for
uh,
you?
not really, actually. I usually and nowadays, well, probably used to have, but nowadays I rely pretty much if I'm like browsing through Netflix, I'm checking what's hot right now or what's the most popular or
Okay,
but I don't, yeah. Usually it's some action thriller, something like that.
I I like it.
Not really, yeah. Not much comedies though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So there's like so I want to get your opinion as a guitar player. There's like the new breed of guitar players that are growing up nowadays where there's like a lot of people like pulling influences from like cuz like, I feel like there was this generation that like, when you get older, you see all these generations that get inspired. At the beginning, it was like, it was like the Randy Rhodes and the Eddie Van Halens and uh, you know, uh, the Dave Murrays of the world, from Iron Maiden, everybody,
Mm.
and then it goes into like, the Daniel Freybergs and Alexis Leos and the Sinister Gates of the world inspiring, and now it's like I feel
Mm.
like a lot of these guitar players are pulling influences from like Animals as Leaders and like Polyphia, the real plucking style, the real tapping style. Like, what do you think about like this new generation of guitarists that are coming out with all these massive extended range guitars, all these like this whole, like now everybody has a Kemper, everybody's doing this. I feel like there's this new wave of guitar players. Like, what's your opinion on like the new wave of these guitar players? Because right now I feel like, and like the kids who are like, I would I guess I can't compare it because I'm in the United States, and what people like in the United States is completely different than what they like in Europe, or anywhere in Europe, because you're
I don't
honestly,
know.
because Europe is so much, there's so much more love for metal in Europe, and I always compare it in this. I'll say with
Oh.
I'll say with like a band like Nightwish, right? Like Nightwish,
Mm-hmm.
they won't do a big arena tour here, right, in the United States. They'll maybe play 3 or 4 shows, right? In
Mm.
in a place like Finland or Sweden or any of those places, they're selling out. You know, so
Mm.
I feel like the dynamic, like metal over there is just a whole lot bigger and more loved. But back to my original question, like what's your opinion on the new breed of guitar players coming out?
I mean, it's awesome. I have to say I don't follow it that much, and that little bit depends what guitar players you are referring. If you're talking about um, what is, I'm not really, I'm not sure if I'm that familiar with those all what you said, but
Uh,
especially like bands, it's not exactly a new band, but bands like Periphery, those players are awesome. Misha and Mark and was it Jake?
yeah.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. And yeah, I'm not really a fan of those, 10 strings or whatnot guitars. I never tried those myself. Or so there's a lot of, yeah, new stuff happening, new tools coming. Also, like you said, the modelers and
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. People play shows through their laptops, just using plugins
it's insane.
or plug. Yeah, it's very interesting. I kind of like that tech thing, but I just haven't really found the same sound that I'm looking in the amp. You know, I'm more of an amp guy than a modeler guy, but of course those modelers are very handy because the touring reality is really brutal. So
Yeah.
there's very few chances to take your amp with you, or a lot of stuff in general.
No, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. What in your opinion? You played festivals. You've played with a ton of bands. You've toured around the world. Who do you think was the best band you've ever seen live? Which maybe you stood stage side or just kind of saw them and were just like one of those bands you saw live where you're just like, oh man, I kind of need to step my game up a little bit or something because what these guys are doing are incredible. You know, like for me, it's like Iron Maiden was incredible when I saw them like 20 years ago. I was
Mm.
like 5 feet away from Bruce Dickinson, and I'm like, dude, how are these like late 50-year-olds like in better shape than I am, running all over and playing their instruments perfectly, or seeing like the Red Hot Chili Peppers like front row, like 20 years ago, like seeing how incredible they were just and how much they love. For me, with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, it was like, look how much passion they have. Like they are just
Mm.
they are just and also Red Hot Chili Peppers, they played a 2 hour and 45 minute set. Bands don't do that. That's almost 3 hours. That almost three
Well,
hours on stage, and 40 minutes was
yeah,
40 minutes was them jamming.
yeah. Well, Dream Theater does, I guess.
Yeah, Dream Theater.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, there's many good bands. I don't hard to pick one.
you can pick two
I
or three.
remember, yeah. I remember when I saw Symphony X
Oh,
and Russell was just killing it, and Romeo as well.
hmm
But yeah, I probably remember like these individuals better than just bands because there's always somebody who draws a little bit more attention than. So yeah, Symphony X, that was awesome. But also when I saw first time Metallica, probably it was just a vibe on the concert. It was like amazing,
uh,
you know. And that was, I think, probably my first stadium concert that I ever went. So it was pretty awesome. Yeah, what else? Well, Steve Vai, when I
oh,
saw him first time.
so good.
He doesn't do that many mistakes.
No,
Yeah, the guy is a machine.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, but there are a lot of bands, and musicians that have made an impression.
I love it, man. Those all sound incredible, man. And I sometimes just think about like being in your shoes and in everybody's shoes in the music industry, and it's something I strive for. Just like being able just to live metal constantly, dude. And it's such a beautiful community, man. And it's so great that there's all these wide varieties of just different genres that all play together. And I love the festival settings and everything, dude. And it's just I feel like there has to be like 1,000 festivals a year. I feel like every year there's 10 new festivals that pop up, and I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Even after COVID, they just keep coming. It's just pretty awesome.
Oh, dude, it's incredible.
Yeah, and of course, I forgot one band, Killswitch Engage. I've seen them like 3 or 4 times, and every time they fucking killed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm a huge Howard.
Just a tight
Jesse.
band.
Yeah.
What was that?
I was saying I'm a huge Howard and Jesse fan.
I've seen them both. Yeah, they both killed it.
Oh yeah. I honestly like the music that like I got like my first bands I ever got into was like Ozzy Osbourne and then like new metal Linkin Park and System of a Down, but the first time I ever really got into music was like the metalcore era, and it was with Children of Bodom, Trivium, Atreyu, Avenged Sevenfold, Killswitch Engage, As I Lay Dying, you know what I mean? That August Burns Red, like that whole massive genre, dude, was like
right.
Like that, I'm 34 years old, so that all those albums just came out between like 2000 and 2005. For me, sometimes I feel like I'm biased because I think like all those albums are like some of the best albums ever released in existence.
Yeah, I think but probably at that time you haven't heard that many of
True.
that kind of album, so they made a more impact. And I'm probably the same. Same thing with me. Those albums. When I listened younger, they have like a special place in my heart.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful, man. Second to last question. Of course, you played with Children of Bodom, and you played with Bodom After Midnight. What is one thing about Alexis that maybe something about his personality that people don't really know a lot about when like you toured with him and played shows with him? What is something different about him besides his amazing guitar skills? Like maybe his like a personality trait that a lot of people don't know that he kind of keeps within his friends and family and bandmates.
I don't know what you don't know. So it's a difficult. I don't know what you know or don't know, but I mean he's a pretty much what you see. It's not really well. He was very focused on like in his own things, playing guitar and music, and it's not really most of the time he kind of lived in his own little bubble. So yeah, probably that's one. But I don't know. He was pretty much like a down to earth normal guy.
I love it.
Yeah. He was just very, very passionate about, music, and he really focused on that. Most of the time on tours, while other goes sightseeing, Alexi was just staying on the backstage or back lounge of the bus and play guitar and something like that.
That's beautiful, man. That makes my heart warm.
Yeah.
Man. The first song I ever heard of Children of Bodom when I was younger was "Every Time I Die," and I'll still play that 20 years later, man. And I still have all my Children of Bodom CDs. I'm still a CD guy, man. I have a crap ton of CDs because I do radio, and I don't like doing digital off the computer. I like I love having to have a changer and having like 4 different CDs at once. You know what I mean? So I know when I know when I play Crownshift, I'll be putting in a CD and be like, all right, You know what I mean? It's more physical,
yeah.
and I feel like it's kind of like a vinyl where it's more passionate. You know what I mean? You know, it's nice looking at an album and looking at the booklet and everything instead of just like you said online. It's like you just skip everything. You know, if you don't like something, you just skip it. You just click over shit. You know. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy that we have so much music and so much options, but that usually gets lost.
Yeah.
In that flow. So
no,
pros and cons.
Pros and cons. All right. I think I've already had you for almost 50 minutes, so I'm gonna ask you the last question.
No problem, man.
These will be 2 quick fun questions. All right. In a zombie apocalypse, if you could have one weapon to destroy the zombie horde that isn't the cure or a nuclear weapon, what is your one weapon to kill zombies?
I don't know how to kill zombies.
I think
how do they die?
I think you
can I get them killed with the shotgun?
Yeah, you can blow their asses away. All right.
I don't know. I don't have any preference for weapons, so I'll take shotgun then, or machine gun.
I like it.
Whatever kills zombies, you know.
I like it. I like it. What is the one type of music that you listen to which is the furthest away from heavy metal and what Crownshift plays? What is the one genre of music that is completely different that would maybe shock your fans that you're a huge fan of?
Maybe synthwave.
Synthwave?
Yeah, but I don't think it's that far. It's just the production is far.
Oh, okay.
But the melodies are basically interchangeable, you know.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Well, everybody on the Metal Mixtape in Ashland, Oregon, we just got done talking to Daniel Freyberg of Crownshift. Please check out their new album, Crownshift, coming out May 10th via Nuclear Blast. And also check out their music videos, A World Beyond Reach, if you dare. And, of course, My Prison, which are all absolutely incredible. Catch them on tour. Go subscribe to their channels. Go like all their social medias. Go buy their merch. And, Daniel, last but not least, can you say this is Daniel Freyberg from Crownshift and you are listening to the Metal Mixtape?
Metal mix? What? Sorry.
The Metal Mixtape.
Mixtape. Okay. This is Daniel Freyberg from Crownshift, and you're listening to Metal Mixtape.
I love it. Daniel, have a beautiful day, man. Go for a run. Go watch Netflix's Hot List. Thank you so much for blessing my morning with your amazing album, and I think I'm gonna go listen to Mirage again and put it on loop while I go do some other things in my on my computer.
Wow, man! Thank you so much, brother, for having me. It was my pleasure, totally.
Fuck yeah! I'll see you later, Daniel.
See you, man.